How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I've got a story time about a recent adventure I went on down here in Tulum, Mexico. And not only is this going to be a story, but this adventure is kind of the reason why I'm down here traveling alone in Mexico, or at least part of the reason. So let's get into the story and drink some of this delicious, freshly squeezed Mexican orange juice. $1 from the street. Beats any beverage you can get back in Canada by a long shot. Oh man, I wish those watching this right now could enjoy what I'm enjoying. Too good. Too good. Alright, so my first 3 nights in Mexico, well, stayed in an Airbnb the first night, but then the 3 nights following that, I was staying in a hostel. For those of you who don't know what a hostel is, it's essentially a cheap accommodation for people traveling, where you're put up in a dorm room, where there's bunk beds and you share the room with other travelers. So my room had 4 beds. It was me, obviously, and 3 other people. And I think each night there was 3 different people in the in my dorm room. So there was new people sleeping in the room every night. But all in all, I think there was 20 travelers at the hostel approximately. There was 2 8-people rooms and 1 4-person room that I was in. Paid like $2 extra for that, and it had air conditioning, which the others didn't. So it was definitely worthwhile. But anyway, hostels are a great place to meet other travelers. They're great. I mean, mainly that. It's a great way to socialize while you're traveling. Make sure you don't get lonely. You meet other people. You make friends. You share stories. You learn. Like for me, who has never traveled alone before, I get to learn from these people by talking to them about how they travel alone, how to make the most of it, places to go in the area, what to keep in your mind when you're traveling Mexico, things to be cautious of, stuff like that. But anyway, this story takes place at the hostel, which was in downtown Tulum, called the Chill Inn Hostel. Put that up on the screen right now. Great place, highly recommend. Staff were nice, free breakfast, and a lot of the people that were staying there were really awesome. Yeah, no complaints at all. So anyways, my first night at the hostel, I'm sitting in the common room. One sec, light switch. Hopefully that's better, maybe not. Anyways, I was sitting at the common room in the hostel, just sitting at the big table where people eat and chill. And there's these 2 French girls who had been in Mexico not too long, just a little bit. And they were talking about their plans for the next day, how they were going to take some bikes to the Cenotes. And quick geology lesson for those of you who don't know what a cenote is. They're very common in this region of Mexico. This is the Yucatan Peninsula that I'm in. It's kind of the part that sticks out into the Caribbean of Mexico. And the Yucatan Peninsula 100 million years ago didn't exist. It didn't exist until the asteroid that made the dinosaurs go extinct landed off the coast of Mexico. The force of that impact from the asteroid caused the ground to rise up, which created the Yucatan Peninsula, where I'm staying now. And the cenotes are caused by when that ground rose up, there was unstable areas in the geology of the land that had raised up. Those areas collapsed, creating these sinkholes, which then filled with rainwater, and that's how the cenotes came to be in the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. So these are very popular spots now to go swimming. They're beautiful. They contain crystal clear blue water for the most part. Some of them are perfectly circular, and they're just really unique, beautiful spots to go when you're in this area. So these 2 girls were talking about going on a bike ride adventure the next day to go to multiple cenotes. I asked the simple question of, do you mind if I tag along? And they said, no, of course. So that's how the adventure began. Just one simple question, and that is why hostels are so great. So proceed to the next day. We get up early, we have breakfast together. We rent our bikes from the hostel, $5 for the whole day, 100 Mexican pesos. Not too bad at all. and we take off to our first cenote. Cenote Calavera, I believe is what it's called, which means Cave of the Skulls. But swam at Cenote Calavera, beautiful, beautiful cenote. It's one of the ones that's a perfect circle. There's a swing in it, like a rope swing, or not a rope swing, but just like a swing in the water. And there's bats flying around in the cenote. It's a pretty cool spot. It's maybe a 10 to 15 foot jump into the cenote. And yeah, that's stop number 1 of the day. Then after that, we go get some lunch. We stop in the center of Tulum. There's about a 15-minute bike ride to the cenote, 15 minutes back to Tulum into some back roads. And we go to an Italian restaurant. And funnily enough, this was my first, at this restaurant, it was my first actual pizza in pretty well exactly 4 years, to be honest. You might not all know this, but before coming to Mexico, I was vegan for pretty much 4 years. And since coming here, I've loosened up my diet. I'm pretty much eating everything now because I want to get the full cultural experience. And if anyone has anything to say about that, I don't care. Whatever, it's my body, my choice, I do what I want. And so yeah, I ordered a pizza because it was an Italian restaurant and everything had cheese. So I was like, I'm not eating cheese often. I don't like, since I've broken the mental addiction that cheese creates, I don't have much of an interest in eating it. But this place had everything with cheese, so I was like, screw it, I'm gonna get a pizza. So I had my first pizza in about 4 years. It was delicious. And after our lunch, we started cycling to the opposite side of Tulum, where we then had to bike down the highway for about 15 to 20 minutes. And that's when we came to Cenote Cristal and Cenote Escondido. Now these cenotes weren't as unique as the first one in the sense that they weren't the perfect circle carved into the earth, because there's just something so unnatural about seeing that, but it is natural, so it just makes it seem otherworldly. These ones were a bit more like little lakes, but they still had the crystal clear blue water. And even better about these ones is that they had some cool places to jump in. So they had rope swings to swing into the cenote. The first one, Cenote Cristal, had about a 10, maybe 12 foot jumping platform to get in. And also while we were at Cenote Cristal, there was a couple there, an American couple who were in circus, and they were doing some pretty awesome jumps off of the wooden platform into the cenote. I got a bunch of video clips of them on my GoPro, so you'll be seeing those right now. But anyway, we enjoyed the cenote, we swam around, went to the other cenote, did the same thing, swam around, hit the rope swing into the cenote. And after that cenote, it was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We'd been out the whole day from 9 to 5, just biking around, getting to know each other. This was really the first day that we had like all gotten to know each other. And then on the way back, we bought a liter of tequila. That night at the hostel, we drank a liter of tequila. We went out to a local Mexican club, or I guess it was a bar. It was kind of a, I don't know. It was a bar where people were dancing. And it was like all locals, which was pretty interesting because we went out with a guy who worked at our hostel, and we were all just white people, and we were the only white people in this bar. And not only that, but if you don't know, now you know, Mexicans are very short. I'm quite tall. I'm 6'3", or 190 centimeters, I think I discovered yesterday. And I could see everything in this bar. Like I was like this much taller than the next tallest person. And yeah, it's an interesting experience. We were dancing and like there's a lot of eyes on us obviously because we stand out, but everyone was nice. It was a good time. And you know, it created this connection with these French girls that otherwise, if I hadn't asked the question of you mind if I tag along, wouldn't have been created. So having the flexibility, the completely open schedule, and the willingness to do whatever, whenever, leads to the opportunity for some unique adventures that you can go on at the drop of a hat. And today marks a week that I've been in Mexico, and I've already gone on some awesome adventures, so I'm really, I'm just like, I know there's going to be so much cool stuff happening over the next 93 days or however long I end up being down here, and I really am excited for it. And if you are one of the people interested in traveling like I am right now by yourself, you have to read this book. It's called Vagabonding by Rolf Potts. It's an uncommon guide to the art of long-term world travel. And let me just read the definition in this book of vagabonding. But this book, it has some just incredible information about the philosophy of traveling by yourself, and not really having a destination in mind or a goal in mind, but just getting the most from the experience of being somewhere unknown and meeting new people every day that you'll never see again. So vagabonding. Vagabonding, the act of leaving behind the orderly world to travel independently for an extended period of time. For the second definition, privately meaningful manner of travel emphasizes creativity, adventure, awareness, simplicity, discovery, independence, realism, self-reliance, and the growth of the spirit. And one more quote from this book. For all the most important things in life, the timing always sucks. Waiting for a good time to quit your job, to have that kid, to take a dream trip. Sadly, the traffic lights of life will never all be green at the same time. Conditions are never perfect. Someday is a disease that will take your dreams to the grave with you. Pro and cons lists, one of my previous favorites, are just as bad. If it's important to you and you want to do it eventually, just do it and correct course along the way. Fortune favors the bold. Remember, the traffic lights of life will never all be green at the same time, so if you want to do it, do it. Vagabonding, Rolf Potts. Read it. You won't regret it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. You are beautiful. Yeah, I know you thought the video was over. I did too. But I forgot that we have the second ever Jeffrey in Mexico official Mexican snack review to do. Since the first one, Cheetos Bolitas, I think I gave it a 6 out of 10. I've received millions of emails saying, holy shit, your Cheetos Bolitas review changed my life. So I've decided to make this a recurring segment while I'm in Mexico. And today's snack is Galletas Chavalín con malvavisco y coco, which in English is half an Oreo with marshmallow and coconut on top, essentially. So let's get into this. I have low expectations for this snack. I did not purchase it because I thought it would be good. I purchased it because it was interesting and it was 50 cents. So I mean, the aesthetic is really not there. It's an open-sided Oreo with what looks like that pink paste that chicken McNuggets are made out of, as if it was dropped on the floor and rolled around in some dust because of the coconut on it and the chocolate cookie crumbs. So I don't know if you have a good look at that there, but it really doesn't look too appetizing. I don't know why they made the marshmallow pink. I think white would have been a better choice. Let's have a bite or two. It's everything I never wanted it to be honest. The texture is a little stale. The chocolate cookie I think is just dyed brown because it doesn't taste at all like any cocoa is in there. And there's no coconut flavor, which makes me think that it might actually be dust from the floor. that these were dropped in and not coconut. Let's see, is coconut actually in the ingredients? Cocoa is, so apparently there is some chocolate in it, but I don't believe it. Oh no, the very last ingredient is coconut. So, I guess it's not false advertising, but there's 0% coconut flavor, 0% chocolate flavor, 96% stale flavor, and 4% disturbing texture. The Galletas Chevaline gets a 2 out of 10. I would not recommend it. That is now it for this video. Tune into the next one, or else you might have a bad dream. Thanks for watching.